All right, welcome back to Daily Standup, and today we're going to report progress on my research backend architectures that I have in progress, and I think we are good to slide it into done. Let's go take a look at what we have defined for here. So I posted some notes, and we have an architecture meeting discussing the research found and also showing a working prototype. So depending on when this video goes up, I just finished the architecture meeting, so we have that done. So once that's up, this research, I think, is officially done, at least this phase of it, right? So I'm going to slide that into the done column. In the first part, I'm going to move over from to do is this first prototype. So prototype backend data pipeline design number 1. And again, the what is create a functional proof of concept for data pipeline and backend. Need a working example to debug, and I'm able to step through working example in the code. That's going to be where we're at. And again, this, depending on when this goes up versus when I put the architecture meeting up, it's going to look like, I think, that this prototype ticket is probably going to be moving to done pretty shortly, because I have a lot of the code done for our first design of the prototype. And again, we will be iterating on that. We will be adding different ways to do that, different designs, patterns, everything like that. And that's what this prototype is going to be for. We're learning about how this backend design is going to work for what we want to do. And again, this is only one of many possibilities that you can use for a backend design. I mean, there's many patterns out there. There's a lot of right ways to do things, and there's also a lot of wrong ways. But I just want to explore another possibility that I've never actually used before and see how it works. So that's what I'm doing, and that's where these prototypes are going to come into play. I don't know. So I have an architecture design meeting in progress. Or into do. I guess that might slide over into done, to be honest with you. I might slide that into done whenever that video goes out, but I'm not gonna show that. Yeah. So that's, but we need to time that on here, which is good. And yeah, I think we're in a good spot. One thing that I need to add for planning is I need to add a research ticket for authorization. So I want to research the use of OAuth to handle our authorization. I don't know what provider I want to use for that, like GitHub or Google, whatever social media as like our identity provider for OAuth, but I don't know too much about OAuth, like on a super technical way. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of my research around that. Right, I wanted to learn everything there is to know about implementing OAuth into an application. Right, so I've looked up some stuff, and I've seen like the general middleware steps you have to do to add OAuth. So I think I just need to register my application with some kind of provider like GitHub or Google or somebody, and then obtain that client secret, and then should be able to get the token, and then use cookie authentication, or save the token in a cookie and use that for my authorization. So that's what I think is going to happen, but I need to formally like research that, I guess, if you want to call it. So what, why, done when. So the what is pretty simple. Learn OAuth and what it would take to implement into our app. And we need some kind of authentication protocol for our application, because we will be having a login, log out functionality, and being able to post engine details and see other people's engine configuration. So that's going to be a portion of the app. I would say about half of it is probably going to be dedicated to that. So we need some kind of authentication and authorization. So why? We need authentication for our app to be able to handle sign in, sign out. Okay. And then the done when is outline a plan of how I am going to implement OAuth into our application. Perfect. Pretty straightforward, but I wanted to put that on the board before I forget. or what happens is I just will do it without making a ticket or anything or a story, and then that just kind of fades into nowhere, and then it's not credited to anywhere. I'm trying to think what else. I know there was something else I thought of. So research cache implementations, research OAuth. Do I have any tickets for implementation of my database connection? I don't think I do. Let's go ahead and add that. So let's make that database. Oh, what? Hold on. I don't know what I hit there. I hit enter and then it hit me down to it. Oops. Okay, database. Implement or how about, I don't know what to call this, create connection. I don't know, naming. Implement connection string and hold on, create connection string and MySQL builder. Okay. What, why, and done when. All right, so the what is we need. We create a connection string to our database that our application can use. I'm going to say for right now, we are just going to save the connection string in our app settings. This will change until we'll to be using a secret. So at some point to provide this information. All right, and then I just have to download the MySQL NuGet packages, right, to connect easy to that, to connect to database. Why is we need to connect to the database from our app. We have successful connection from our repository to the repository methods to the database and return data. So this is honestly a big this is a big ticket, and I am going to estimate this a little larger. So I would put this at a 5. Just again, because it's literally just me. So I'm going to save that, and we estimated it, and I think we should be good. So that's a big implementation story right there. That'll take us a bit. And that's, I don't know if that should come before our engine API. Create API functions to call to backend. I may bump this in priority to right there because I think it would make sense for us to have a working connection to the database and then check the front end's connection to the back end, so that way we can actually return like legitimate data to the front end to just make it easier. I think that's what we might do. If that changes, I'll talk about it, but I think that's how we're going to leave it for right now. But anyway, I think we're in a good spot, and we have an in progress ticket, and we create a few more things we got to do, and our to-do list is growing, but it's going to get a lot bigger. We got a lot of stuff to do, and honestly, I'm leaving out one of the biggest tickets until later because I know it's going to take me forever, and that's just going to be the actual the modeling of the actual engine. And you saw a little preview of it in its extremely rudimentary state right now. That's going to take me forever. I'm a little nervous about that, and I'm going to try to update as I go, but I think it might be hard to keep that content of me figuring that out interesting because I think that aspect of it's going to take a little longer. And I think that is going to be blocked until I figure out a lot more of the architecture decisions, because that piece or that component's going to be relying on that back end to be up and running and doing what it needs to do. So, I think that's it for today's stand-up, and I will see you on the next one.